Now, the gifts that we received in our past, as we were saying, were rather modern for their day. But when we actually think of the toys today, we have a different approach. Now, you were mentioning a knife, and I don't think too many parents would be giving knives to their children. And as we had mentioned once before, that they would be caught with a metal detector if they were walked around with them. But can we take a look at the gifts that children are receiving today and compare them to what we had received? Dale, would you like to start?
Sure. I can remember last year, my grandchildren, one of them received a electronic game called the Game Boy DS, and it was a very popular model at that time. And of course I have 3 other grandchildren, so as soon as one of them got that one, why, the other 3 had to have them. And once they got them, turned out that my youngest son, who's about 35, he had to have one too. And they were all getting together when they would come to my house up in his bedroom, and he would link them by using modems, and they would all go online and they would play communal games where they were all in a fantasy environment, killing monsters or shooting dragons or whatever.
You know, it really brings to thought here, you're using modems and communal. If we had mentioned these words well back in our childhood, we would be looked at with skepticism. What are you talking about? And kind of interesting how not only the toys have changed, but also the lingo that goes with it. How about you, Tom?
Well, we can't forget the cell phones. Today's cell phones are more of a toy than anything else. But these are a couple things that I have for this year to give to my grandkids. Bionicle, which is a put-together plastic thing that comes out to look like some sort of a warrior. And the Lego sets, this is one of the smaller ones, but they have very large Lego sets, could take hours to put together. And as soon as one piece is missing from it, then a lot of times it's no longer meaningful. So my grandkids have a large box full of the Lego parts, and so they get put together once, and that's about it. Other things that they have are the things that are out here, the planes, the models, the train sets, even the Lionel are still very popular today. When they used to all be made out of metal, now there's a lot more plastic in them. And one of the funny things is we used to have the cowboys and Indians and have the guns, but now if you have a cap gun or any toy gun, it has to have this orange tip on it to signify that it is a toy and it's not a real firearm. So,
now, is that removable or is
no, that's on there solid as can be.
So any gun that you buy today
it's a toy.
Has to have that orange on.
Right. If it does not, then it is legal, considered a firearm by the government.
Mm-hmm. How about BB guns?
BB guns are considered a firearm by the government.
So you would not have a orange tip on it?
It would not have an orange tip on it. Okay. Fire is a projectile that could do bodily harm. So.
Okay. Can you think of anything? What are you giving to your little grandson?
Well, last year, everybody's familiar with Sesame Street. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with the Elmo doll because the Elmo was adorable. I mean, it was like real life. And he was just about the same size as my grandson at the time. So I figure, you know, since he's an only child, he'd have somebody to play with. And, you know, he'd talk and he'd sing and he'd throw kisses. It was just wonderful. So Elmo came to live at Zachary's house. And Zachary played with Elmo, only he taught him karate. Oh. And after about a month or so, Elmo wasn't talking anymore.
He had had it.
He had had it. So I guess sometimes the kids play pretty hard with the toys, and the electronic toys sometimes don't hold up as well as our imaginary wooden and metal toys used to.
Well, I know that Game Boys and the Wii game is very, very big now. It seems to be more electronics than actual games that are being played. You have some other things that you made comparisons with.
Sure,
there.
laptop computers, you know, that's a
game.
a big thing. Well, that's what the kids would like to have for, you know, a Christmas present.
I think we can say safely that where it used to cost maybe $5 a child to buy some lovely gifts, now you need 100, 200 plus to actually get what the children want.
An example of that, of course, the girl grandchildren have to have their American Girl dolls.
Yes.
With not only the doll, but all the paraphernalia, the wigs, the costumes, the clothes, everything that goes along with it. They have a big store down on Michigan Boulevard that they go to, and they make it an all-day extravaganza, and hundreds, as much money as you have, you can spend on these toys.
And more.
Yes, right.
Well, just over at the Streets of Woodfield, they have the Lego show there. They have when you walk in, the first thing that you go by is a buildup of the city of Chicago with a lot of the Lakeshore Drive buildings and whatnot. And it's unbelievable, all the things that they can do with the Legos. But again, like I say, once it's built, as soon as the
Well, you're
kids get
supposed to
playing
use
with
your
it,
creativity at that particular time. You know, use those Legos to construct something new.
right.
There's a new toy out that's supposed to be the top toy this year, and they're called Zuzus. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like little creatures, like maybe guinea pigs or something, and they make the cutest noises and everything, but they're really hard to get. And there's scalpers online that have them. They're charging, they're supposed to be like $8. So they're they said, you can, you know, we have them, they're $35, they're $25. But if you go into a store and you ask for them, they'll tell you, oh, we didn't get any, or they go out as fast as they're shipped in. So now people are standing in line waiting for these electronic toys as well.
Well, you know, not only that, the price is reasonable. And when the price is reasonable at this time in the economy, I think many people are looking for it. But it moves, it does. I know it crawls up your arm. And
I can remember a thing that, of course, I loved was roller skates that I attached to the bottom of my shoes. Nowadays, what my grandchildren want and have are things called wheelies that have just one wheel built into the foot, into the heel of a shoe. And I've
seen those.
They are great fun. We went out to, my grandchildren and I, to Community Day to O'Hare Field when they dedicated the new runway. And there we were standing out on the new runway with all the planes landing and all the other runways around. And my granddaughter had her wheelies on, and she got up at the top of the ramp on the runway, and she was able to scoot down for maybe 50 or 75 yards on her wheelie. She thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Well, sounds like a lot of fun, but I think the best of all gifts around any Christmas tree is the presence of a happy family, all wrapped up in each other. And that was said by Burton Hillis. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us for this little segment on December on the Schaumburg Bond panel on change. Thank you for listening, and God bless everyone.